Today I am going to teach you empowerment and decision making. So once I take this lesson, you will be able to understand the process of decision making and empowerment. I will also teach you about the techniques and challenges in empowerment. You'll be able to identify the influences on decision making and also the ethics that are involved in decision making. Let me begin with empowerment. So what is employee empowerment? Employee empowerment is a strategy that enables employees to make decisions about their jobs. It enables employees to take responsibility of their own work. In a 1999 study, business researchers at the University of Minnesota found that empowerment is a major motivator to employees. Employees perform very well when they feel trusted and empowered to create systems, solve problems, and take actions rather than following the stringent procedures. Empowerment is a top down approach. This means that the managers need to decentralize the power to take decisions. They need to encourage and support the employees. Managers need to motivate the employees by complimenting them for their good work and accomplishments. They need to motivate the employees to take their own decisions. Also, if employees make wrong decisions, managers must act as coaches and rectify their mistakes instead of disempowering them. Managers must help their teams figure out what went wrong and how to recover, improve, and grow. Decision making. Decision making is an integral part of modern management. Essentially, rational or sound decision making is taken as the primary function of the management. Every manager takes hundreds and hundreds of decisions subconsciously or consciously, making it the key component in the role of a manager. Decisions play important role as they determine both organizational and managerial activities. A decision can be defined as a course of action purposely chosen from a set of alternatives to achieve organizational or managerial objectives or goals. Decision making process is continuous and indispensable component of managing any organization or any business activity. Decisions are made to sustain the activities of all business activities and organizational functioning. Decisions that are made at every level of management to ensure organizational or business goals are achieved. Further, the decisions make up one of the core functional values that every organization adopts and implements to ensure optimum growth and drivability in terms of services or products offered. As such, decision making process can be further exemplified in the backdrop of the following definitions that I'm going to give you. Now firstly, I'll give you the definition of decision making. According to the Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary, the term decision making means the process of deciding about something important, especially in a group of people or in an organization. Trivatha and Newport define decision making process as follows. Decision making involves the selection of a course of action among two or more possible alternatives in order to arrive at a solution for a given problem. As you can see in the definitions that I have given you, decision making process is a consultative affair done by a committee of professionals to drive better functioning in any organization. Therefore, it is a continuous and dynamic activity that pervades all other activities pertaining to the organization. Since it is an ongoing activity, decision making process plays a vital importance in the functioning of any organization. Since intellectual minds are involved in the process of decision making, it requires solid scientific knowledge coupled with skills and experience in addition to mental maturity. Further, decision-making process can be regarded as a check and balance system that keeps the organization growing both in the vertical and linear directions. It means that the decision-making process seeks a goal. The goals are preset business objectives, company missions, and its vision. To achieve these goals, company may face a lot of obstacles in administrative, operational, marketing wings, and operational domains. To achieve these goals, company may face a lot of obstacles in administrative, operational, marketing wings, and operational domains. Such problems are sorted out through comprehensive decision making process. No decision comes as an end in itself, since it may evolve new problems to solve. When one problem is solved, another arises, and so on, such that the decision making process, as I told you earlier, is a continuous one and a dynamic one too. A lot of time is consumed while decisions are taken. In a management setting, decisions cannot be taken abruptly. It should follow the following steps that I'm going to tell you now. Firstly, the problem needs to be defined. Then, there should be gathering of information and collecting of data, followed by developing and weighing of the options. This should follow choosing the best possible option. Then, plan and execute. And lastly, take and follow up action. Since decision making process follows the above sequential steps that I have told you, a lot of time is spent in this process. This is the case with every decision taken to solve management and administrative problems in a business setting. Though the whole process is time consuming, the result of such a process in a professional organization is magnanimous. I'm going to talk about the consequences of empowerment. Number one, job work and duties. Employees that are allowed to make their own daily operating decisions can alter the way their jobs are performed to create a more efficient workplace. When employees take their own decision, it saves both time and money, and this is beneficial for the company. Teamwork. A team becomes more efficient when the members rely on each other to solve daily issues and develop their own work skills. There can be a job rotation so that the team members are familiar with each other's job and can remain efficient even when a team member is absent. Nextly, segmentation. One of the negative consequences of empowerment is departmental segmentation. Empowered employees can feel as though they are no longer in need of any directions. They don't want to have any kind of directions from the management. This creates a company consisting of individuals achieving their own goals without direction from the company. To prevent counterproductive segmentation, empowered employees should be held to company mandated goals and procedures. Empowerment should not mean the employee is free to achieve his own goals and use his own procedures regardless of what the company dictates. Empowerment means achieving goals and developing skills within the guidelines set by the company. Employees are given the freedom to make daily decisions, but those decisions still need to focus on achieving corporate goals. Regular meetings with managers and the executive team can keep an empowered staff focused on working with the rest of the departments within the company. Incorrect decision making. Empowered employees can feel as though they are no longer in need to take direction from the management, like I mentioned you, and managers need to act as coaches and rectify their mistakes. Managers must help their teams figure out what went wrong, and not only that, they should also focus on how to recover, improve and grow in future. Let me talk about the techniques of empowerment now. When a company empowers its employees, they take responsibility for decisions they are free to make. Employee empowerment creates a sense of ownership in a company, and employees feel proud to be part of the organization. Loyalty and productivity serve as key consequences of employee empowerment. Let me tell you the various steps. Step 1. Change management roles from supervisory to coaching. Teach employees to identify and implement solutions to problems and then reward proactive employees. Step 2. Grow employee empowerment through productive coaching. Interact with each employee to determine how to help him to become invested in her position in the company. Step 3. Delegate to empower employees. Team members should be given the information and power to make decisions and to take action. Train team members to make offers to clients in the most strategic way. Effective delegation depends upon clear communication. Step 4. Communicate in confidence and set goal for employees. Express your confidence and your expectations for solid performance from your employees. Conduct regular employee reviews and staff meetings. Talking about the relationship between participation and empowerment. To empower employees, management must transfer some decision-making authority to the employees to show the employees that management has faith in them. Participation may be encouraged through a variety of means. The result is greater employee involvement in certain aspects of business and greater organizational efficiency. Employee empowerment generally involves management recognizing that employees are in a better position to oversee their own duties and work processes. Management plays a crucial role in empowerment as it trains the employees to take correct decisions. Once employees are well informed and educated regarding the problem-solving strategies, management may then transfer some decision-making authority to them. Employee involvement. Employee participation involves management to encourage employees to assist in running and improving business processes and operations. Employees' views are taken in mind while forming the decisions. Encouraging participation. Encouraging participation may be solicited in a variety of ways. Employees to drop suggestions regarding solutions to problems in a suggestion box or can speak about them at meetings. Managers must encourage employees to speak freely and give their inputs. Now talking about management and empowerment. When decision-making authority is given to skilled employees, problems are resolved more quickly because employees can act fast and aren't required to seek permission for each and every decision that they make. The end result is a more productive and efficient workplace. However, management does not completely decentralize the power to take decisions. Management still has the authority to make the final decisions. Coming to decision making. Like I told you earlier, decision making is the process of identifying and evaluating alternatives and choosing the best alternative for the purpose of attaining a goal. Decision making is a non-linear recursive process. That is, most decisions are made by moving back and forth between the choice of criteria. That is, the characteristics you want our choice to meet, and the identification of alternatives, the possibilities that you can choose. The alternatives available influence the criteria we apply to them, and similarly the criteria we establish influence the alternatives that we consider. Now, what is the process of decision making? According to Simon, the systematic decision making process has 4 phases: the intelligence phase, the design phase, the choice phase, and the implementation phase. In the intelligence phase, the current situation is examined. The organizational goals and objectives are identified. It is seen if they are being met or not. The problem is identified and defined. In the design phase, a representative model is constructed and the model is validated and evaluation criteria are set. Possible courses of action are generated, developed, and analyzed. It includes understanding the problem and testing solutions for feasibility. A model is constructed, tested, and validated. In the choice phase, a solution is proposed to the model. In the implementation phase, the solution is implemented on the original problem. Let me talk about the different types of decisions now. Structured problems. Now, what are structured problems? They are routine and repetitive problems with standard solutions. They have a well-defined decision-making procedure. Then there are semi-structured problems. These problems have some structured aspect, but some of the inputs or outputs or procedures are not actually very well defined. Finally are the unstructured problems. All phases of decision-making process are unstructured. These problems do not have a well-defined input, output set or procedures. Now, let's talk about the levels of decision-making. First is operational planning and control, which focuses on efficient and effective execution of specific tasks. It affects activities taking place right now. For example, what should be the production level of the day? The second level of decision making is management control and tactical planning. It focuses on effective utilization of resources. It is a longer range planning horizon. For example, what will be the next year's production level? Third is strategic planning. It involves long range goals and policies for resource allocation. For example, what new products should be offered? Now, what are the important features of managerial decisions? The first feature is that of rational thinking. It is invariably based on rational thinking, since the human brain, with its ability to learn, remember and relate many complex factors, makes the rationality possible. Another important feature is that of process. It is the process followed by deliberations and reasoning. Selective. It is selective. That is, it is the choice of the best course among the various alternatives. In other words, decision involves selection of the best course from among the other alternative courses that are available, which are actually identified by the decision maker. Purposive. It is usually purposive. That is, it relates to the end. The solution to a problem provides an effective means to the desired goal or end. Positive. Although every decision is usually positive, sometimes certain decisions may be negative and may just be a decision not to decide. For instance, the manufacturers of Volkswagen car once decided not to change the model, that is the body style, and the size of the car, although the other rival enterprise, that is the Ford Corporation, was planning to introduce a new model every year in the US. That a negative decision is equally important was stressed by Chester I. Bernard, one of the pioneers in management thought, who observed, "The fine art of executive decision consists in not deciding questions that are not now pertinent, in not deciding prematurely, in not making decisions that cannot be made effective, and in not making decisions that others should make." Commitment. Every decision is based on the concept of commitment. In other words, management is committed to every decision it takes for two reasons. Number one, it promotes the stability of the concern, and number two, every decision taken becomes a part of the expectation of the people involved in the organization. Decisions are usually so much interrelated to the organizational life of an enterprise that any change in one area of activity may change the other areas too. As such, the manager is committed to decisions not only from the time that they are taken, but up to their successful implementation. Finally, evaluation. Decision making involves evaluation in two ways. One, the executive must evaluate the alternatives, and two, he should evaluate the results of the decisions taken by him. What are the influences on decision making? Individual differences and organizational constraints have an effect on the decision making process. We'll start with the individual differences. Personality, for instance. Personality influences our decisions, especially factors like conscientiousness and self esteem. Specific facets of conscientiousness may affect escalation of commitment. Achievement striving people are more likely to escalate their commitment as they hate to fail, whereas dutiful people are less likely to, because they are more inclined to do what they see as best for the organization. Also, achievement striving people appear to be more susceptible to the hindsight bias, that is, the tendency to believe falsely after an outcome of an event. It is actually known as one should have accurately predicted that outcome. Gender. Studies find that women spend more time in analyzing problems than men. They overanalyze problems before making a decision. This can lead to careful consideration of problems, but it can also make problems harder to solve, increase regret over past decisions, and increase depression. Mental ability. More intelligent people are equally likely to fall prey to cognitive biases, but once warned about decision making errors, they are better able to avoid logical errors. There are certain organizational constraints. For example, performance evaluation. Managers are strongly influenced by the criteria on which they are evaluated. Reward systems. The organization's reward system influences decision makers by suggesting what choices have better personal payoff. Formal regulations. Some organizations limit the freedom of decision making of employees. System imposed time constraints. With deadlines to complete a task, it makes it difficult for managers to gather all the information they might like before making a final choice. And historical precedents. Present decisions are often affected by the decisions taken in the past. Let me summarize. Employee empowerment is a strategy that enables employees to make decisions about their jobs. It enables employees to take responsibility of their own work. Decision making. It is the process of identifying and evaluating alternatives and choosing the best alternative for the purpose of attaining a goal. Employee empowerment saves money and time in the organization. It also enhances teamwork. Empowered employees can make wrong decisions at times, and managers must act as coaches and rectify their mistakes. For employee empowerment, managers need to delegate decision making and take up the role of supervisors instead of coaches. The decision making process has 4 phases: intelligence phase, design phase, choice phase, and implementation phase. There are 3 types of problems that exist: structured, semi-structured, and unstructured. Levels of decision making are operational, managerial, and strategic. Personality, gender, and mental ability, along with organizational constraints, have an effect on decision making.